Emma Carter's phone buzzed insistently, vibrating against the polished surface of her desk. She glanced at the screen, eyebrows rising at the sight of Sophia Lane's name. It wasn't like her best friend to call during work hours. "Sophia, is everything okay?" Emma answered, concern coloring her voice. "Emma, I need to see you. It's urgent. Can you meet me for lunch at Vincenzo's in an hour?" Sophia's voice trembled slightly, an unusual crack in her normally composed demeanor. Worry gnawed at Emma's stomach. "Of course, I'll be there." An hour later, Emma found herself seated across from Sophia in the dim, elegant interior of Vincenzo's. The restaurant hummed with the quiet conversations of the lunch crowd, a stark contrast to the tension emanating from her friend. Sophia toyed with her water glass, her manicured nails tapping a nervous rhythm against the crystal. "Emma, I think Ethan's cheating on me." The words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Emma reached across the table, clasping Sophia's hand. "What makes you think that?" "Late nights at the office, mysterious texts. He's been distant." Sophia's eyes, usually bright with confidence, were clouded with doubt. "I need to know for sure, Emma. I need your help." Emma's heart sank. "What do you mean?" Sophia leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I want you to test him, flirt with him, see if he takes the bait." Shock rippled through Emma. "Sophia, I can't." "Please, Emma, you're the only one I trust with this. If he's faithful, nothing will happen. If not..." Sophia's voice trailed off, thick with unshed tears. Emma's mind raced, torn between loyalty to her friend and the wrongness of the request. "I don't know, Sophia. This feels deceptive." "It's the only way I'll know for sure," Sophia pleaded. "I can't live with this doubt anymore." Reluctantly, Emma nodded, a decision she would come to regret. "Okay, but we need to set some ground rules." Later that evening, Emma paced her apartment, phone pressed to her ear. "Lucas, I don't know what I've gotten myself into." Lucas Miller, her voice of reason and longtime friend, sighed heavily on the other end. "Emma, this is a dangerous game. You're playing with fire." "I know, but you didn't see how desperate Sophia was. I couldn't say no." "Just be careful," Lucas warned. "These things have a way of spiraling out of control." The annual charity gala provided the perfect backdrop for the first test. Emma arrived in a sleek black dress, her hair swept up in an elegant knot. She scanned the crowded ballroom, her heart racing as she spotted Ethan by the bar. Taking a deep breath, she approached him. "Ethan, I didn't expect to see you here." He turned, his face lighting up with a warm smile. "Emma, what a pleasant surprise. You look stunning." As they fell into easy conversation, Emma was struck by how effortlessly charming Ethan was. His wit was sharp, his laughter infectious. She found herself genuinely enjoying his company, a realization that sent a pang of guilt through her. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Ethan's paths crossed with increasing frequency, each encounter carefully orchestrated by Sophia. Coffee shops, art galleries, even a chance meeting at the local farmer's market, all staged to provide opportunities for temptation. With each meeting, Emma felt herself drawn deeper into the web of deceit. The chemistry between her and Ethan was undeniable, their conversations flowing with an ease that both thrilled and terrified her. One evening, as they strolled through a local park after a chance encounter, Ethan's hand brushed against hers. The touch sent a jolt through Emma, and she quickly pulled away, mumbling an excuse about needing to get home. As she hurried away, her phone buzzed with a text from Sophia. "How did it go? Did he try anything?" Emma stared at the message, a growing unease settling in her stomach. She thought back to the inconsistencies she'd noticed in Sophia's stories about Ethan's past, details that didn't quite add up, timelines that seemed off. Sitting on a park bench, Emma called Lucas, her voice tight with worry. "Something doesn't feel right about all this, Lucas. Sophia's stories about Ethan's past, they're not matching up." Lucas's voice was grave. "Emma, I've been doing some digging. This isn't the first time Sophia's asked a friend to test Ethan." The revelation hit Emma like a physical blow. "What? Why would she?" "I don't know," Lucas interrupted, "but I think you need to be very careful. This whole situation is more complicated than it seems." As Emma ended the call, her gaze fell on a couple walking hand in hand, their easy intimacy a stark contrast to the turmoil roiling inside her. She thought of Ethan's kind eyes, his gentle laugh, and the growing feeling she could no longer deny. The weight of her deception pressed down on her, suffocating in its intensity. Emma closed her eyes, the cool evening air doing little to calm the storm of emotions within her. She had entered this arrangement out of loyalty to Sophia, but now found herself caught between that loyalty and the undeniable connection she felt with Ethan. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the park, Emma made a decision. She couldn't continue this charade. The truth needed to come out, no matter the cost. With trembling fingers, she typed out a message to both Sophia and Ethan, asking to meet. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shatter the carefully constructed illusions they had all been living under. As Emma hit send, she couldn't shake the feeling that nothing would ever be the same again. Emma's hands trembled as she clutched the envelope containing the damning evidence of Sophia's past manipulations. The weight of her discovery pressed heavily on her conscience as she made her way to Ethan's office, her heart racing with each step. She found him hunched over his desk, his brow furrowed in concentration. When he looked up, his face brightened momentarily before registering her serious expression. "Emma, what's wrong?" Taking a deep breath, Emma closed the door behind her. "Ethan, we need to talk. It's about Sophia." As Emma revealed the truth about Sophia's history of orchestrating loyalty tests with other friends, Ethan's face cycled through shock, anger, and finally, a resigned sadness. "I can't say I'm entirely surprised," he admitted, running a hand through his hair, "but to hear it confirmed." Emma hesitated, then pressed on. "There's more. Sophia. She's been feeding us both false information about each other. I think she's been trying to push us together deliberately." Ethan's eyes widened in disbelief. "What? But why would she?" "To maintain control," Emma finished, her voice barely above a whisper, "over both of us." The silence that followed was deafening. Emma watched as Ethan processed the information, his face a canvas of conflicting emotions. Finally, he spoke, his voice hoarse. "All this time, I thought I was the one with secrets to keep. But Sophia, she's been playing us both." As they delved deeper into their shared experiences, comparing notes and unraveling the intricate web of lies Sophia had woven, Emma felt a mixture of relief and dread. The truth was finally coming to light, but at what cost? Their conversation was interrupted by a text message on Emma's phone. It was from Lucas, asking to meet urgently. Emma's stomach churned with unease as she made her excuses to Ethan and headed to the agreed location. Lucas was waiting for her at their usual cafe, his usually calm demeanor replaced by nervous energy. As Emma approached, she noticed the guilt etched across his face. "Emma, I need to tell you something," Lucas began, his voice strained. I've been seeing Sophia." The world seemed to tilt on its axis as Emma processed his words. "What?" she gasped, gripping the edge of the table for support. Lucas's words tumbled out in a rush of explanations and apologies, but Emma could barely hear him over the roaring in her ears. Her confidant, her voice of reason, had been part of Sophia's machinations all along. As the full scope of the betrayal became clear, Emma felt a surge of anger and hurt that threatened to overwhelm her. She stood abruptly, cutting off Lucas's stream of excuses. "I need some air," she managed to say, before fleeing the cafe. The next few days passed in a blur of conflicting emotions and sleepless nights. Emma found herself questioning every interaction, every relationship in her life. The foundations of trust she had built her world upon had crumbled, leaving her adrift in a sea of uncertainty. It was Ethan who finally broke through her self-imposed isolation, showing up at her apartment with a determined look in his eyes. "We need to confront Sophia," he said without preamble. "All of us together. It's time to end this game once and for all." Emma nodded, a spark of resolve igniting within her. "You're right. No more hiding, no more manipulation. It's time for the truth." The dinner party that followed was a masterclass in tension and barely contained emotions. Sophia, ever the gracious hostess, seemed oblivious to the storm brewing around her as she welcomed her guests with a practiced smile. As the evening progressed, the facade began to crack. Emma watched as Sophia's composure slipped, her eyes darting nervously between her assembled friends. The moment of reckoning arrived with the clinking of a glass as Ethan stood to address the group. "I think it's time we all laid our cards on the table," he began, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hand. "Sophia, we know about the tests, the lies, all of it." The room fell silent as Sophia's carefully constructed world began to crumble. Her face, usually a mask of perfect composure, crumpled as the truth spilled out. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she confessed to her manipulations, her voice breaking as she spoke of her deep-seated fears of abandonment and her desperate need for control. As the confrontation unfolded, Emma found herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Anger at the betrayal warred with empathy for Sophia's obvious pain. The realization that their friendship had been built on such a fragile foundation of lies and manipulation cut deep. In the aftermath of the revelations, relationships lay in tatters. Trust, once broken, proved difficult to rebuild. Emma found herself grappling with the consequences of her own actions, the weight of her complicity in Sophia's schemes pressing heavily on her conscience. Yet, as the dust settled, Emma discovered an unexpected strength within herself. The experience, painful as it was, had forced her to confront her own values and the kind of person she wanted to be. She realized that true connections couldn't be forged through manipulation or deceit, but through honesty and vulnerability. In the weeks that followed, Emma began the slow process of rebuilding her life. She distanced herself from the toxic relationships that had entangled her and sought out authentic connections based on mutual respect and trust. As she stood on her balcony one evening, watching the sun set over the suburban landscape, Emma felt a sense of peace wash over her. The road ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face it with newfound clarity and resilience. In the end, the shattered illusions had revealed a truth more valuable than any false perfection: the strength to be found in genuine, unmanipulated relationships. If you enjoyed this heartfelt story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. We bring you a new story every day, and your support means the world to us. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you think. See you in the next story. Stay inspired and take care.